Hello, everyone. Welcome. I wanted to jump on and share a couple messages that came in today for me and that I've been practicing. So, there are many layers to this sort of external tsunami experience that we've been having. Call it the coronavirus, call it a collective purge, whatever we want to call it, right? But there are layers to this experience. And one of the opportunities and reasons for this occurring is quantum jumping or a quantum leap right now. So currently, there is a massive amount of high frequency light flooding the earth plane right now. And one of the reasons that the entire human collective is on a pause or being asked to slow down and quiet is to step into the possibilities and the opportunities right now to anchor more of this light and to choose and create what is next for them. So not only is this a massive purge for the collective, so that the entire collective of humanity can move into a higher frequency. So we're purging some massive density through the collective. But there is also an opportunity individually for us to really anchor in these high frequency light codes that are coming in and to choose. To choose to say, yes, I'm ready and willing to jump into this next version of me. Yes, I'm willing and courageously ready to let go of the old programs and paradigms and ways that I've been, right? And so what many of us are doing right now is either really quieting and stopping and silencing ourselves, pushing the pause button, or we are finding other activities to keep us busy, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. Humans do not like to be in a standstill. They don't like to sit in silence. We don't like to not have a routine or something to do. But the reason that this is appearing for us in our now, this sort of disruption of our everyday routine, is to allow us to go inward even more, to allow us to listen even more intently to the silent or very quiet whispers of take a look at this one more time. Feel this one more time. Dive deeper into this. Lean into this one more time. Look at this one more time. Because it's your time right now to leap, to let it go, to do a life review, to remember who you are outside of the physical human being, right? So much more of you right now is being asked to be looked at, felt, seen, heard, understood. Not just the human, not just the Akashic record, not just the contracts, but to literally step out of all of that and step into a much higher version of you that holds all of it from a completely different lens. A lens that sees you as all of it. Right? I talked about this in my last video, being able to have lunch or dinner with all these aspects of you. Right now, in this now moment, we are responsible for choosing to take that leap, to move into the aspect of us that is being held already and is now being already in a higher frequency that is not connected to any of the Akashic record programs and paradigms, behaviors, beliefs, and addictions that we have been in. The earth is literally in a vibrational frequency right now that is so high, regardless of what you are participating in, believing in, looking at, hearing in the external. All of those fears, all of those limiting beliefs, all of that lack mentality, all of the conspiracy theories, all of these things are just clearing and purging. Anything that feels freaky and scary, anything that is held in lack or preparation, be ready for, get prepared for, this is why it's actually happening. All of those things are held in a fear consciousness, and they're coming up to be seen just so they can purge. From a much higher perspective, we are literally vibrating in the most high frequency that we've ever been in, which allows us to consciously, courageously, as a creator being, choose to jump. We choose to leap now. And we are given an opportunity by being silent, by taking away our routines, most of us, not all of us, but a lot of us. Those of you that are still at your jobs and still working, right? You still have the opportunity, hold on. You can still find the time to sit in silence and look at all of this from a much larger perspective. Remember, there are layers to the reasons for it occurring, right? One of the layers is to allow us to consciously prepare ourselves by getting silent, by looking inward, by diving deep in. What else is coming up? What other shadow is whispering for me to look at? What else is talking to me and saying, we need you to look at this. We need you to look at this. We need you to review this. We need you to feel this. And not, how can I stay busy? How can I stay busy right now and do all of these things so that I'm not listening, so that I'm not silent? Because it takes way more courage to sit silently and say, I'm ready, let's go, let's dive in, than it is to stay busy and to do all of the things that we're doing right now in order to not actually do what we're here to do, which is quantum leap right now, which takes courage and commitment and saying, yes, let's go, let me do this, right? Let me jump, let me show the way. So one of the ways that you can do this is by stopping any routine that you've created for yourself right now, right? It's still important to move and to do these things so that you don't lose your mind, right? But can you focus also on how much time am I giving just to be in silence, to quietly sit and meditate, to journal, to cry, to let everything out? What else am I hearing? Or am I following the old ways of being where I'm continuing to do these programs or these ways of being that distract me from what's actually being asked of me? My guides today showed me this sort of incubator that we're in right now. And the opportunity and layers of opportunities in this now for us. And we can get very distracted right now by the external, very distracted. And it's okay to look out and listen and watch and play in that. But it's even more important to come back in and to go inward, to get silent, to rest, to pause, to journal, to dance with yourself. Two of the things that they told me to do today. So I sat for a couple hours and I laid and I lit candles and I journaled and I did a life review and I meditated with that life review, which means I went through the first moments that I received trauma. And then they showed me another moment where I received trauma and they had me feel it intensely. This is where you got this program. This is where you learned this program. This is where you learned this disorder. This is when you started your eating disorder. This is when you started your alcoholism. They showed me all of that today. And I felt it in my body in a way that I never had before, right? And they said at the end of this review and to the present now moment, they said, that's your records. That's your life as a human, third dimensional physicality. And it's always going to be there, but it is complete. And it is now up to you to choose to be complete with it, to cut the strings and to allow yourself to fly out of that third dimensional matrix and to leap into this other new version of you, which I have been trying to do for quite some time, a couple months. And I've been leaping, and then I've been finding myself being pulled back into this third dimensional matrix, this Akashic record that I've completed. And they said, it's your thoughts, it's your beliefs around it. Let us show you even more clearly how complete you are with this. Jesus said to me, was it Jesus or yeah, Jesus said to me today, he said, your thoughts are that powerful. He says, your thoughts are that powerful. If you choose, you are done. I'll repeat that. Your thoughts are that powerful. If you choose, you are done. So this message is to remind all of you right now that are courageously navigating the whispers, the shadow, the density, the emotion, the thought, right? The human aspect of you, right? You're navigating it. You're being asked to go in. You're being asked to step into it even more, to lean in, right? Look deeper into it. Feel it even more, which takes so much courage because we're sick and tired of it, right? Today I was like, I am so sick of this. It's almost to this place of like, you get so tired of it that you'll finally like, okay, I'll do whatever, right? And so there's a life review that you can have if you want, where you can sit and meditate and pull in your guides and say, show me when my first Akashic record began, when the first trauma began. Show me when the next one began. They'll show you. They'll lead you through it. And then they'll show you that you're done. Almost all of you listening to this right now are done. It's complete, which means the records are complete. You don't need to continue to do the Akashic records, the traumas, the behaviors, the beliefs, any of it. But you have to choose. Nobody can pull you out of the records but you. So it's a choice. Because your thoughts, like Jesus said, will pull you back. The string will stay connected to you. So every single now moment, until you become used to standing in that new version of you that you quantum leaped into, you have to remind yourself, I'm not that version anymore. I'm not that version anymore. I'm not that version anymore. You have to believe it. You have to visualize that the strings to those records and to that trauma and to those behaviors, to those thoughts are cut. And you're free from it. I've done a couple videos on this message alone because we need to continue to hear it because of how challenging and difficult it is to quantum leap. But right now we are being held in so much light, more light than we ever have. We are being activated. We are being upgraded. There is light codes that are coming down into our bodies, activating the light codes that are within us right now. And there's a lot to be distracted by. There is a lot for us to look out at and get distracted by. Is this because of they're trying to do the 5G? Is this because our government is hiding these things from us? Is this because they're going to do all these vaccine things to us? There's a lot of different things that can distract you from what's actually that's actually occurring right now. And it's a choice. Do I want to be distracted by all of these things, or do I want to come back into my sovereign field and say, oh yeah, let me look at the layers of why this is happening and go into a deep layer of this, a deep opportunity and experience, which is, holy shit, I can actually quantum leap right now. And this is one of the reasons this is occurring. And so you have to sit quietly, alone. And you have to listen to the excuses that you're going to give yourself as to how and why that's not possible. And then you try to do it anyway. And as 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 3 hours, 10 hours, however long you have the ability to give yourself right now to sit, to turn off, to rest, to have a life review, to really, really look at your Akashic records. The traumas, the pains, the experiences that you have gone through in your life that you created and designed. You created them, you agreed to them, you pulled them in when you dropped into the human form. They're all yours. You lived them out perfectly, and now you are being given an opportunity to let them go. Do you understand? It's time to let them go. So it's as if you're looking back at that version of you that has played in those records your entire life. And now you have to actually consciously choose every now, over and over, consciously. Holy shit, I'm doing that behavior. Holy cow, I'm doing that that thought, oh my God, I'm buying into that belief system again, right? It doesn't, when you quantum leap, it doesn't happen overnight and all of a sudden, woo, I'm this magnificent being now, right? We all know this, which is why this is probably the third or fourth video I've done on this quantum leaping that we're doing. It's an effort. It's a conscious co-creative effort, which means that you're co-creating with the guides and beings around you, the higher dimensional light beings. Call them star beings, ETs, galactics, aliens, whatever you want to call them. They are your team. And they are here to assist you. And yes, they are outside of you. And yes, you hold just as high of a consciousness within you. You are that consciousness, that high light consciousness that dropped in to be of service to yourself and to humanity and the earth right now. But the only way you can step deeper into your service is by letting go of the older version of you, which is the records, which is the third dimensional matrix, the Akashic records that have created the human experiences that you've had. And we can do all the different ceremonies, right, of letting it go, of cutting the records, of all these things. But then we have to come into the human physicality of us and consciously start to walk about our day and be very, very observant of whether you are playing in an old version of you or not, and then choosing the new version over and over and over until it becomes natural, until all of a sudden you are in that larger quantum peace aspect of you that you jumped into. So a lot of times we think that if we have this opportunity right now to quantum leap, that if I choose to quantum leap, then that's all I'm going to have to do. And unfortunately, that's not the case. We have to consciously, in every now, be aware, so aware of what version you're playing in. Because in the quantum field, all these versions of you are available in any now. You can step into and be any older version of you. It's up to you. Just like Jesus said, it's a choice. Your thoughts are that powerful. It's a choice. So as you are navigating your nows right now, recognizing that you actually have a lot more time on your hands to not necessarily find new things to do, but to perhaps get silent. To perhaps go inward and say, I am finally 1000% going to let this go. What is it in you that continues to come up? What is it in you that continues to be shown to you? What thoughts? What beliefs? What experiences? What behaviors? What is it? And then say to yourself, am I ready? Am I ready? And you can do a life review if you want, where you quietly sit, get into a meditative state, and then to ask your guides to show you when it all started and go through that life review and look. But regardless, you choose right now, in this now, am I done? Am I done? It's that simple right now. This is why this is such a profound time for us. We're going to say to ourselves, you're going to hear these words and you're going to say, I don't believe that. I don't think that's possible. Okay, that's your choice, and those are your thoughts and those are your beliefs. But what I'm being shown and what is an absolute truth is that right now we are in a bubble of such high frequency, the veils are completely lifted. And if you sit quietly and feel into it, you'll feel the energy of your own body vibrating much higher than it ever has before. All you have to do is sit and stop. No music, no meditative music, nothing. Just sit quietly and lay and be, and you'll feel. And you'll remember and you'll recognize and you'll say, this is the time. This is when I can choose to be quantum. I can be in a multidimensional field, in a multidimensional state. I can step out of the 3D matrix. I'll still look at it. I might still be pulled back into it through thoughts and beliefs and behaviors every once in a while, but how conscious can I get? And how can I choose the opposite, which is I'm going to stand in and be this higher version right now, over and over and over. Right? It's all choice right now. This is such a massive opportunity. Listen to the thoughts that are coming up as you're listening to this. Okay? Because it's a choice. You get to believe what you want to believe. And can you love yourself through whatever you're feeling? You know, I was in the Starbucks drive-through getting my coffee this morning, and I was in tears. I was just crying because I was feeling this massive overwhelm of irritability and wanting to get out of my skin, just wanting to crawl out of my skin. And it was more intense probably than I've ever felt. And I was crying. And I pulled over after I got my coffee and I sat in my car for a moment and I said, what is this? And they said, because what I wanted to do the last couple of days, and this is my pattern my whole life, is to go somewhere, go rent an Airbnb in Sedona, go on a long drive and go camping. I wanted to leave my house. I've done this my whole life, right? I always run. Until the last couple of days, I've been wanting to escape. I've been wanting to leave my house. I've been wanting to leave what's been coming up for me. I've been wanting to leave, right? And they said, we need you to go home and get silent and just sit. And I said, I don't want to go into this. Whatever this is that's coming up, I don't want to do it. And they said, we need you to go in. We need you to go in. And we promise you, when you go in, you'll come out the other side. But we need you to do this. This is why you're not going anywhere. This is why you're no longer running. This is why you're no longer doing the programs, behaviors, anything that you've done in the past. This is your opportunity, Lori, to finally jump in a way you never have before. With clarity, with compassion, with love, with an understanding of what is actually occurring on the earth plane. And I said, okay. And so I came home and I lit candles and I meditated and I journaled. For 3 hours, I journaled, I meditated, I did a life review. I heard messages, I received messages. And I'm coming out now, sharing this with you with an understanding that in any now, it's not magic, right? In any now, I can get pulled right back into that matrix. It's like anything that we teach ourselves, right? Any pattern that you're trying to create or any pattern you're trying to break, right? The human always says, oh, it's 3 weeks. Do it for 3 weeks straight and you'll have it down pat. You'll be doing it naturally. Or you'll break the pattern if you do it for 3 weeks, right? Or not do it for 3 weeks. You'll break the pattern. It's the same thing with quantum leaping into this new higher aspect of you. It's exactly the same. Push yourself through. Continue to choose that higher version of you, right? Continue to choose it over and over. So when the beliefs come in that are limiting, telling you things that aren't true, you're going to recognize, oh, that's the limited third dimensional matrix, Akashic record human aspect of me. Nothing wrong with that. It's totally allowed to sit at the dinner table with me. But I also have at the dinner table all those other aspects of me, and I'm going to choose to move into another aspect and be in that aspect. I'm going to be a higher version of me. I'm going to see this version. When you start to meld or blend all of these versions of you into one now moment, you're constantly moving into higher frequencies. So we're always going to be that human version sitting at that dinner table, always. And we allow all the aspects of that human. But as we continue to consciously choose higher versions of that human aspect, we start to become higher versions of that human aspect. That's ascension. So we're never leaving behind any aspect that we've been as a human. We're allowing it to come along, but we are alchemizing and shifting the human aspect of us in every now as we continue to choose to be in the higher frequencies. We have to choose it. While we are still accepting this aspect, right? So what does that mean for me? I'll give you an example. So the shadow that was coming up, the density that was coming up, the aspect of me in that lower dimensional field, the human that I've been playing for so long, needed to really be devoured this morning. It needed to be understood in a way that I've never understood it. So I journaled and I sat with it and I felt it and I dived deep into it, deeper than I ever have before. Now I honor that aspect. I honor the traumas and the pains. I honor all of that human journey that I had. I don't deny it. I don't pretend it didn't happen. I don't not feel it, right? It's like a movie or a book. I look at it, I dive into it, I explore it, I feel it, right? Because I know that I'm not just that. So it's like, oh, let me explore this. Let me dissect this, right? And at the exact same time, I know that the reason I'm doing this is because I have to understand the version of me that I am shifting out of and the version that I am stepping into. And they all exist in the now, but the more that I am choosing that higher aspect, the more I am being that higher aspect in every now. So when the limiting beliefs come in, or the thoughts come in my now, if it comes in, when it comes in, I choose. I'm choosing the higher version aspect of me right now to be, not the older version of me that is still in a third dimensional matrix, held in an Akashic record that I've already cleared, I'm done with. How do you know you're already done and cleared? Because you're listening to this video, because you're holding much higher frequencies, because you know that you're done and you're ready. That's how you know, because you're ready. You're ready to let it go. You're ready to let go the beliefs, the programs, the addictions, the behaviors, whatever that is. You're ready, right? Okay, then you're cleared. It's done. Hands are washed. Now it's time to dive as deep as you possibly can into it, observing it while you do, watching it. What's the story? What's the whole outline that you've lived in this lifetime? The records that you chose. What's the journaling that needs to be done? What are the guides that want to come in and tell you what to expect, what to do, how to be when you start to be in the higher aspect? And then in meditation or in silence, you visualize, you see, and you know that higher aspect of you. And you tap into it, you see it, that version of you, the her, the him, whatever it is, you see it, you feel it, you understand it, you know it to be truth. And then what you do is you come out of your meditation, you come out of your silence, and you go about your day, and you are acutely conscious and acutely aware of what you have cleared, what you have stepped out of, but what you may still naturally sort of by pattern move into. And if and or when you do, you instantly move yourself into that higher aspect. No. Boom. I'm choosing this instead. Now, this isn't to say that when you have emotions come up that just are in your everyday now, because I know people are going to ask this, well, what about when I have anger or fear or frustration? Should I move into this higher aspect? If you have anger coming up as you're walking about your day, just feel the anger. If you have irritability coming up, just feel it. Don't attach to it. Don't say there's something wrong with it, right? Any emotion that comes up, just let the emotion come up. This is about being. Okay, this isn't about feeling emotions that come up. This isn't about that stuff. This is about being a version of you and another version. Being it, the behavior, the actions, the beliefs, being it. This is your beingness. Okay, so who cares what emotions come up other than they're just emotions, let them be. As you continue to be in that higher version by choosing to no longer believe the behaviors and the thoughts and the limiting beliefs, you will slowly find yourself not having as many of the denser emotional experiences. But we are not here to control the emotions. We are here to choose to be the higher version of us by consciously being aware of the thoughts, beliefs, patterns, paradigms, programs, ways of being that we have been our entire life that we are no longer doing, the records. Okay, very different than an emotion that comes up throughout your day. Sadness, anger, irritability, like let the emotions come up. Now, if there are limiting beliefs or powerful thoughts or beliefs behind that, Like, let's say you are feeling insecurity, right? Okay, well, feel that insecurity. Now you go deeper into that layering of insecurity. What are the thoughts? And that is when you make the choice. Do you understand? You don't try to shift out of the insecurity. What you're doing is you're feeling insecure, and then you're saying, oh wait, what's underneath that insecurity? Oh, I'm not good enough. People are better than me. Okay, pause. That is a version of me in the Akashic record from the experiences that I've had my whole life, based on a version of me that I'm no longer playing in. I'm going to tap into this higher version of me. The higher version of me knows that I am perfect, that I am unique and divine and amazing and awesome, and I have everything in the world to share, no matter how I share it, right? That I deserve to be loved, and I'm going to find the perfect partner, like whatever that is for you. Okay? That's how we are. That's how we be. So if sadness comes up, right? First, we feel the sadness. Okay, sadness is coming up. Now, what is underlying the feeling of sadness, right? What is that underneath it for you? Is the sadness saying, I'm not lovable, I'm never going to have a partner, I'm always going to be alone? Okay, that is a belief from the third dimensional matrix, from the records, from the Akashic records, from all the experiences that you've had. They've created these beliefs. Now, in another now, all of a sudden you're feeling sadness, and those thoughts are going to come up perhaps, maybe not, right? Your choice is to say, oh, look at that. These are the thoughts that are underneath the sadness. These are the beliefs underneath the sadness, and I am going to choose that I am safe, that I am lovable, that I will find the perfect partner, that I will be loved unconditionally, and I love myself unconditionally. I love myself, right? So whatever it looks like to you in that higher version, you be it. You choose, remember? Oh, here comes an emotion. What's underneath that emotion? Oh, look at those thoughts and beliefs, until eventually, one, you may not feel those emotions as often. And two, as soon as you feel those emotions, you're going to observe yourself feeling them from that higher version of you, and you're not even going to fall into those thoughts and beliefs. Do you understand? So you're going to feel sadness, perhaps. You're going to feel insecurity, perhaps, as a consciousness, but you're going to see yourself experiencing it from this higher version. And that higher version is going to remind you of who you are in this higher version. And so you won't even fall into the beliefs. You won't even fall into the old ways, the old behaviors. Does this make sense? So that's what we want to start to do. Because again, we like things to be really easy. Like if I quantum leap and I quantum jump and I know where I'm going, then it's just going to be over with and done, and I'm going to be in this higher version of me, and let's go, rock and roll time. That's not it. Not it. We have to choose in every now until it becomes easy and familiar and we are it all the time. This right now is the time to do it. This is the opportunity we have where we can really practice this in every now. And so I'm offering you this remembrance. Remember, this is why this is happening. Remember, this is happening now so that you can start to practice quantum leaping into that higher version of you in every now. So it's not about controlling your emotions. It's not about controlling your thoughts. It's not about controlling any of it. It's about feeling what comes up, and it's about choosing the version of you that you're going to believe, choosing the version of you that you're going to be over and over until you become it naturally. We are cocooned right now, you guys, in so much light, right? And you're ready to do this consciously, co-creatively. So I invite you to start. You probably already are. Be conscious. Be even more conscious. Do a life review if you need. What's coming up for you? What's whispering behind you over and over to look at, to feel, to devour, to lean into once more? Get as angry as you want. Scream, yell, have a temper tantrum, and then sit with yourself. Push through the desire to run. Push through the desire to not want to. Push through the desire to have a to-do list. Well, I've got all these other things to do. I'm not going to. Maybe I'll do it later. No. Do it now. Leap, jump, sit with yourself. Devour all of you. Devour it. Journal. Meditate. Sit with the higher dimensional light beings that are with you right now, surrounding you, loving you, and ready to walk you, throw you, fly with you up to that version. It's not even anywhere. It's in you already. It's just you. It's not outside of you. You all know that. I just use that as a way of kind of describing it. It's in you right now, ready to be stepped into. Okay? So, in every now, going forward, remember, high frequency light. We are cocooned in this light right now. Remember, you have a choice in what you want to distract yourself with. You have a choice. And this is a prime opportunity to jump into this next version of you consciously, courageously, tangibly in every now. I love you. Thank you for being here. We are in the most miraculous of times, as all of you know. Give yourself more love. Give you more love right now. Not your family, not your partner, not your animals. Give you more love first. If you're one of those that likes to give, and you're depleted right now, stop giving. Give to you first. You deserve it. You deserve the love. You deserve to be held. You deserve all of it right now. Okay? And remember the layers upon layers of why this is occurring. And one of them is to get us so silent that we finally say, F it, I'm done, I'm going to leap. And we have so much free time on our hands, we can actually leap now. Because we have the time to watch ourselves, to observe ourselves, to feel everything. We're not distracted, most of us. And for those of you that are courageously, lovingly working right now, first of all, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being of service and for being out there and working. And you too are quantum leaping in every now. Just be aware of it. Just be conscious. Just watch. I love you.